Notre hôte, Monsieur le Président Sarkozy, Prime Minister Brown, Your Royal Highness, President Obama, honored veterans, chers parlementaires, distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs. We are standing on hallowed ground. Today, it is quiet, peaceful, serene. But on this day exactly 65 years ago, this 50-mile stretch of coastline was the scene of the largest seaborne invasion in human history. The Allied troops from our four great nations who crossed the Channel to launch the liberation of Europe and rescue civilization from the darkness of fascism had no uncertainty about their purpose or duty. In the words of Captain Jack Fawcett of the 1st Canadian Scottish Battalion, Scottish Regiment, we were so intent on getting to the beach that even if the engines had stopped or broken down, sheer willpower would have driven the craft ashore. La volonté indéfectible des soldats, la planification minutieuse de leurs commandants et l'appui inébranlable de leurs compatriotes ont entraîné ce jour-là la victoire. Et ont fait en sorte dans les années qui ont suivi que nous, leurs enfants et leurs petits-enfants, avons pu vivre dans la paix et la prospérité que nous connaissons aujourd'hui. The iron will of those troops, the careful planning of their commanders, and the unwavering support of their fellow citizens back home resulted in victory that day and in the eventual triumph of good over evil in the months that followed. This was the most spectacular achievement of what has famously and rightly been described as the greatest generation. The fathers and mothers of today's leaders, the fathers and mothers of my childhood. It was their most spectacular achievement, but it was certainly not their only achievement. For having fought against oppression, racism, and cruelty here in Europe, they would return to Canada and turn their resolve to building a society more fair, more equal, and more compassionate than the one they had left behind. And with similar commitment, but this time greater patience, they would also win the Cold War and overcome the tyranny of communism as well. As the numbers of this, our greatest generation, dwindle, we ask ourselves, how are we to honor them? How can we ever truly thank them? As every Canadian school child has been taught, from the time of our nation's presence in Flanders nearly a century ago, there is only one answer: to take the torch from their failing hands and carry it high. Our own world reminds us constantly of the crying need to safeguard and to advance the vision and values for which our parents' generation fought, for which they died, and for which they lived. Il n'y a pas seulement un prix relié à notre paix et à notre prospérité. Il y a aussi une obligation, celle de faire ce que nous pouvons pour partager notre bonne fortune avec les autres, incluant ceux qui, ailleurs, doivent endurer encore aujourd'hui la violence, l'oppression et la privation. Nous devons aux Canadiens, Français, Américains, Britanniques et autres soldats alliés qui dorment sous ce sable, ses camarades pour l'éternité, de poursuivre la lutte pour la vision et les valeurs qui ont inspiré leur sacrifice. And today, just as we remember the lives of the Canadian, French, American, British, and other Allied soldiers who lie beneath these sands, so we think of the courageous men and women of our enduring alliance who serve shoulder to shoulder in Afghanistan to bring light and hope to a people who have long known only darkness and despair. And we remember that our peace and prosperity have come not only with a price, but also with an obligation to do what we can to share our good fortune with others, including those elsewhere who to this day endure violence, oppression, and privation. Prenons aujourd'hui la résolution. Au nom de nos glorieux anciens combattants et au nom des âmes héroïques qui ont mis pied ici afin de libérer ces plages, de ne jamais oublier, de ne jamais renoncer et de ne jamais fléchir dans notre détermination à défendre la liberté, à promouvoir la démocratie et à chercher la justice pour tous les peuples. So let us resolve today, on behalf of our honored veterans, on behalf of those young people so full of hope for a safer, better world, on behalf of the heroic souls who came to liberate these shores, to never forget, to never surrender, and to never waver in our determination to defend freedom, to advance democracy, and to seek justice for all people. Merci.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Gordon Brown.
Mesdames et messieurs, Monsieur Gordon Brown, Premier